Hey, Lindsay Banks here, psychic medium and spiritual entrepreneur. I am bringing to you this week readings for the collective. So what do we need to know this week? And just as I was started shuffling the cards, I wanted to share something around time. So for many of us at the minute, for those who are in self-isolation, or for those of us who can't leave the house because we're not key workers, then time is sort of blending into one. I don't know if you find it's like you wake up, there's no rush to get out of the house, you don't need to be anywhere for a certain time. And I've found that my kitchen clock, my kids broke my kitchen clock, so I have no concept of what time it is. I don't wear a watch anymore, and the only time I'm ever conscious of what time it is when I look at my phone. But the rest of the day just sort of blends into one. And you have your lunch when you're hungry. So sometimes for my kids that's 11:30 in the morning, sometimes it's 1:30 in the afternoon, and it just depends. And I've found that not having that awareness of time or that perception quite liberating. So I don't know what you think, but that just popped into my mind and I felt like I needed to share it. So I'm just going to shuffle some cards for this week. And I've got a new, I say it's a new set. I've had a set for a while, but I haven't used them on my readings yet. And they're the mystical Shaman Oracle. So I'm going to draw one of those at the end and see what that has to say, because their messages are very insightful as well. I always do them for myself every week, and I felt like I needed to share them this week. Just to be aware, I'm going to include in the comments below a free download, an MP3 download for grounding and protecting your own energy. So at this time, if you're still absorbing stuff from social media or from the mass media, and if you're suffering from anxiety or stress or worry, then grounding and protecting your energy is a great tool to have in your toolbox. So I'm currently offering that for free, so I'll stick in the links below. So if you want to go and have a listen, then you can do. I have tried to slow down my accent a little bit and my Geordieism. But yeah, it's a really good tool to have, so go and check that out. So let me just shuffle these cards and see what comes up. You could not make this up, right? Look at the two cards that have come out. Healing and healing. If the third card is also healing, then do you think that's like a big message for us all for this week? Wowzers, that's huge. It's funny because sometimes when I've done cards for myself, then one card, I might get two cards, or I might get the same card twice in a row, but I've never had the same card come up in a reading like this before. So let's start with the first healing card then, because sometimes as well, even though they're the same cards, they might have different messages. So this one is Healing Saint Padre Pio. So with this one, there is a lot of purple on this card, and the purple colour is often to do with healing. So I feel like this week, we're coming into our third week of lockdown in the UK, and we might have spent the first 2 weeks cleaning our house, tidying it, decluttering it, decorating it, getting the garden sorted. And then this week, I feel like the energy is going to sort of like slump a little bit, because it's like, well, what do we do now? We still can't go back to work. You might be having Zoom meetings, but this week is definitely around doing some healing work on yourself, okay? So if you're not sure what that means or what it looks like, then go and have a look at my YouTube channel. You are on YouTube. Have a look at some of the spiritual journey interviews that I do with people, because they talk about different healing modalities that have helped them. It's around clearing up our past issues. So like I said, you might have cleared your house, cleaned your house, your garden, but if there's any past stuff as well that you're still holding on to, now is the time to let it go. So even though this guy is holding a cup up here, to me it feels like, letting go a dove of peace. I feel like that's what he's doing. But I feel as well it is about, there's so many of us who talk about self-care during isolation and how to look after yourself during this time. But And you might be doing your meditation, you might be doing your Joe Wicks physical stuff, yeah? But there's also the stuff on our emotional level that we need to look at, okay? So for me this last week, I've cried several times without knowing the reasons why, just knowing that I need to cry. One of them was for feeling guilt because I did I attended a 3-hour workshop on Friday morning whilst I had my children, and normally when the kids are with me I do very little work. I might do a tweet, I might do a Facebook post, I might do a little bit of writing, but my work is predominantly done in the evenings. And the guilt that I felt for spending 3 hours, doing some work, I was still here, and I was still able to give them questions and obviously feed them and give them hugs, etc. But that came up for me and I was like, whoa, where did that come from? I haven't felt that before. So just be aware of anything that's coming up for you. If you feel the need to cry, by all means cry. If you feel the need to vent, to shout, do, And it's funny because these 2 healing cards, like I said, this one, it's very purple and feels quite deep, quite intense. And then this second healing card, there's this bright yellowness. So I feel like doing the healing work on your emotional side of yourself and your spiritual self will allow this vibrancy and this energy to rise again. So like I said, I feel as if we're going to start the week a bit sort of like lower energy than what we have been feeling the last 2 weeks, because the fact that we're still sort of in lockdown is going to hit. There's going to be worries coming up around money, around security, around our finances, food, everything else. So we are going to slump, but by doing this work and acknowledging the feelings that you're having and the reasons why, will allow you to come through the other side of it in this sort of brighter, more vibrant sort of energy. Okay? Like I said, if you've got any questions, if you don't know where to start with your healing, then do reach out and ask, because there's places I can signpost you, there's stuff that I do that can help, there's stuff that others can do that can help as well. And it doesn't always have to be in person either, okay? So just bear that in mind. And then the third one is Angel of Communication, which says communicate clearly, don't be afraid to tell it like it is, okay? So if you are self-isolating or if you're in the house by yourself, then there's not many people that you can share your stuff with, but you can write it down, you can talk to a friend, you can ring them up, etc., which is all good stuff. If you are isolating with others, then this is where this card comes in, because when we learn to communicate clearly and when we communicate from a place of love and communicate from our heart as opposed to from our mind, then the dynamics of relationships can often change and shift for the better. So if we're stuck in our minds in communicating, and this came up for me actually this week, if we are saying to people, I think, it's because you're coming from your mind. And if someone keeps saying that to me, I get frustrated, because I'm like, but you're not, if you're thinking, you're not feeling. So if people say to me, oh, I feel like this, it's softer language, and it comes across as being more emotional rather than practical. So just be aware of the language that you're using when you're communicating with those that you love, okay? Be honest with them. So if something is annoying you, if something's annoyed you for the last 20 years and you've never said anything to your other half, tell them, But tell them from a place of love. Don't tell them because you're like, oh my God, this is serious now. Communicate from your heart. Communicate from a place of feeling. So if you're feeling upset, if you're feeling sad, if you're feeling anger, communicate that with someone that you love and with someone that you trust. Okay? Got this one. So spring, see your seeds grow. So with this card, we've got the hare, haven't we? Of course, it's Easter, isn't it, this weekend? And Easter is often associated with rebirth. Okay. So, yes, definitely this weekend coming up to Easter is a time of rebirth for us. So it's not, I want to say it's rebirth for the collective. This rebirth that is going on is for everyone. So it's not like we're choosing it. Yeah, the rebirth is choosing us. So this is why, so I'm just quickly going for my drink. This is why it's essential for us to do the healing work on ourselves to move forward into a new paradigm. Okay, so any seeds that you have planted, any work that you have done previously in terms of helping humanity or helping the collective, yeah, you're going to start seeing your seeds growing. Okay, now I'm going to share with you these other cards because these cards are so beautiful. I'll put the link to them below as well. These ones, so they're Mystical Shaman Oracle cards by Alberto Villoldo, Colette Baron-Reid and Marcela Lobos. Beautiful cards. If you haven't heard of Alberto Villoldo before, I read his book last year. It's a beautiful book called Shaman, Healer, Sage. And it talks about his adventures where he goes off to visit the shamans in Peru and the shamanic practitioners. It's an awesome book. So when I saw these cards, I was like, oh, I need them. So let's see, what does the collective need to know this week? I need to get the affirmations now. Oh, that's so funny. So you know how I was saying before that the cards that I get, I'll often get the same one 2 weeks in a row. I got this Pachamama card last week, and I also noticed there's a cartoon on Netflix for children called Pachamama this week as well. And what I like about this card as well is that we've got them for the full moon up here as well. So we do have a full moon coming up. I believe it's on the 8th of April this week. And the full moon is the ideal best time to let stuff go. Okay? So let's look Pachamama. So I'll read to you what it says because my words I don't feel will do this justice. So number 40. Okay, so Pachamama represents the unconditional love that the earth has for all her children, including the stones, the plants, the animals and humans. She is the goddess of earth, also known as Gaia, who pervades all creation in our planet. Thanks to Pachamama, our timeless soul can experience life in a biological body. The joy and pain we taste during our brief time on earth are invitations to discover the boundless love of Pachamama. It says, you are a child of the earth. Now is the time to eat right, love right, and be joyous, regardless of the circumstances you may find yourself in. Be grateful for your life, your body, and all that nourishes you. Pachamama invites you to relish each breath, embrace your joy and your pain equally, and discover love through both. Let Pachamama know how much you appreciate all her blessings with an act of service, such as planting a tree, helping save an endangered species, or protecting the ocean. And so I love the imagery on this card as well. You know, this beautiful lady just coming forward with, it's sort of like bringing in all the elements, you know, the fire, the air, the earth, the water. And it just feels like a really wise woman. So I feel like the work that we're going to be doing, you know, on healing ourselves, etc. this week is going to have a massive impact on Mother Earth as well. Okay, so like I said, I will share that pack as well in the comments. I will just do the affirmation for this week from Gabrielle Bernstein's. Let's see what he has to say. Okay, when I lean on the faith of the universe, peace becomes real. When I lean on the faith of the universe, peace becomes real. I love that. Okay, so as I said, check out in the comments below. I'll link all the different packs of cards that I use, so you can go and have a look at those, and also check out my free grounding and protecting your energy meditation, because it's really quick to do, really simple. It takes like 2 or 3 minutes, which is nothing. If If you enjoyed this video, then please do give it a like and subscribe, and also share with your friends. See you soon.